What's going on, everyone? Welcome into another episode of the GC Show. I hope y'all are doing absolutely amazing. This week we are talking about comparison and how comparison is the thief of joy. And this fits perfectly, as the Christmas season is rolling around. Sometimes we can look at things that other people got for Christmas, like gifts and stuff, and look at them and say, like, oh, dude, like they got so much more than what I got for Christmas. And especially if you have siblings, you've probably experienced this where, one sibling maybe gets more presents than another sibling or more than you specifically. And you're like, that's not fair. They got more than what I got, and it's like, how can we, not compare? Because comparing and putting someone else above us always makes us like feel bad about ourselves. Another example of that, picture this. It's test day in math class. You take the test, you think you did pretty good on it. You come back the next day, the teachers hand the grades back. Let's just say you got an 82 on that test. I don't know about you, but I think an 82 is pretty good on a test. And you're talking with people that sit around you. It's like, oh, I got a 95. Oh, 87. Oh, 90. Oh, 98. You start talking about that test, and you're like, that 82 is not even good. Like, the 82 doesn't even compare to those other scores what other people got. And you look at that and say, my 82 is no longer good. Like, I messed up. I messed up on the test. And ultimately, you know, we're not supposed to compare because that hurts us whenever we compare our scores to other people's scores and they're better than us. Or if we compare our scores to someone's score that's worse than us, it can make the other person feel bad. And we don't want to make anyone feel bad. So our verse today, it comes out of John. It is John 10:10 is the verse I wear on my wrist every day. It's a very important verse. It says, the thief's purpose is to steal, kill, and destroy. My purpose is to give them a rich and satisfying life. That's another version I know is the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. Multiple different versions of the Bible. That's why the Bible's awesome. It's Jesus talking too. I didn't give you life and give it abundantly. Jesus gave you life and gave it abundantly. So, this will not be the last time you hear this verse on this show. It's such a very important verse, and there's so many different things you can talk about when it comes to this verse. So, yeah, this won't be the last time you hear it, but this is the first time you're hearing it on this show. So, don't you notice that when you put somebody above yourself in comparison, it makes you feel bad about yourself? Going back to that math test example, if you got an 82 on that test and everyone else is getting in the 90s, that test score of an 82 is, you're going to feel bad about it now. You're going to think it's like a failure of a score. But really, an 82 is not even that bad at all. Everyone is running their own race, and, it's different for everyone. So some people were maybe blessed with smarts. Maybe in like that situation, you like messed up, had a bad day or something. I'm not saying you weren't blessed with smarts. I think we're all very smart to an extent. God gave us intelligence. But everyone's race is different. Everyone has a different like level of intelligence. So like if you're comparing with people that are like way smarter than you, there's no way you're probably gonna get a better score than them, and you're gonna end up feeling bad about yourself. But really, it's like whatever you did, if you feel happy about that, you shouldn't have to like compare yourself to other people, because if you're happy with what you got, just be happy with it and move on and enjoy that score. If you got an 82, just think it's better than getting a 77 or a 75, or like a 40. That'd be kind of bad. All right, like I said, everyone's race is different, and God has you running your race for a reason. For example, let's just say me and my mom had a cooking competition. I think we would all know who would win that if we were cooking up like some sort of casserole or something. No, of course she would win, but I think my casserole would maybe taste decent. Nothing compared to hers though. Like if I took my casserole and compared it to her casserole, my casserole would be terrible. But if I was having my casserole, that would be all I needed. Even if her casserole was better, if I was proud of what I did, you know, I can be happy in that. I don't have to look at her casserole and say, oh, mine is terrible. Or, another example of that is, let's just say me and my mom, we went to the football field and ran a 40-yard dash. I think we would maybe know who wins that. But ultimately, like, if my mom's winning the cooking competition, I'm winning the running competition. God has given each of us different skills that we can use for His glory. So, what is that thing for you that God has planned for you to use for His glory? We're all running a different race. We all have different skills that God has given us. So why should we compare those different skills whenever we may be stronger in one category, weaker in another category, and someone else is stronger in your weaker category and maybe weaker in your stronger category? Just be happy with what God has given you and don't compare yourself to others, because we're all in like a different, I guess, like stage of skills, I guess. I don't exactly know. Social media has become a very big place of comparison, and you've seen it so much more in our world. Like, people comparing themselves to others and maybe to like celebrities on social media. And it's like this, oh, the celebrities are amazing, they're living the dream life, whatever. But let's just be real. Social media, you only post your highlights. You only post the highlights of your life, but no one ever sees, the bad parts of your life, the stuff outside of your life, the stuff outside of or not stuff outside of your life, like the stuff outside of Instagram. No, people don't see that, and we compare ourselves to the best version of others, but we don't know the real version of others sometimes. So, like, don't don't compare yourself to other people on social media. Like, that's such a very common place where people go to compare themselves and stuff, and that often can like get you hurt too, like mentally. It's like, don't even go there. Ultimately, if you're happy with what you have and what God has given you, which you should be thankful for everything that God has done for you, there should be no reason to compare yourself with other people. And I guess, yeah, with other people, whatever. And it's normal to look around and what others have and want more. You look around at, these people, maybe these rich cars, like nice house and stuff. You're like, dude, I wish I had that. Because like, you're looking at yourself and say like, oh, I don't have that. I don't have as much. But like, you want that. You're comparing yourself to them and saying like, what I have is bad. But God has given you so much, and even having a house in general is such a blessing. And ultimately, the things of this world like don't matter if you have the Spirit of God living inside you, and you are a follower of Christ, and you're going to heaven when you die. You have all you need. You don't need to compare to other people's stuff in this world, because the stuff in this world really does not matter at all. And I mean that in the best way possible. So, instead of comparing yourself to others, focus on the skills that God has given you and use them to your best ability. Like I said earlier with the cooking stuff, my mom, she's really good at cooking. Maybe I'm, on the other hand, better at running than her. Again, I might be. That sounds prideful, right? I'm comparing, but don't compare. I'm just trying to use an example here. Like, don't put yourself above others and be prideful, and don't put yourself under others, because it could hurt you too. Just compare yourself to you, I guess. So what skills has God given you that you could use to your best ability to glorify Him? Because we all have something that we're really good at, whether it's sports or smarts or something. I don't know. These are like those are the only two things I can think of. I don't know why, but there's so many skills that we have, and for me, I believe one of my skills is being able to see the world different than an average 16-year-old would see the world. And I have so many ideas that are up in here, and I notice so many different things, and a lot of them I actually haven't really talked about yet, which I will talk about in the future. That's why oh my gosh, that's why you guys should come back and watch every week. Yeah. Um, but I use those skills to observe thing observe things and put them into episodes that I can post to help impact other people. And I feel like that's a skill that God has given me, so I'm trying to use that to glorify Him, helping other people and seeing the world in a different way. And God has a skill, or you have a skill that God has given you. So what is that thing, and what could you do to use that for what could you do to use that for God's glory? Ultimately, when it comes to your skills and like stuff, there will always be someone out there that is better than you. Whether it's running, someone will always be able to run faster than you. Whether it's lifting weights, you go to the gym, there's always someone that's going to be stronger than you. Whether you're a cook, there will always be someone that is better than you. My mom's better than me. There's one person. There's definitely like a million more people, probably more than a million. Anyway, you get the point. But there will always be someone doing better than you. So instead of looking at them and saying they're so good, like I'm terrible, focus on you. How can you be the best person you can be? How can you make yourself the best person that you can be at that skill, at that thing, whatever that may be? And don't compare yourself to those that are like doing better than you, because that'll just hurt you and break you down and make you think, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. But instead, just keep working at it, keep making you the best version you can be, and like I guess like don't let others get in your way really, and don't let the better people break you down or whatever. Like look at them and let that break you down. Because we all have dreams and we all have goals, and it's different for everyone. And I just want you to know, God didn't give you that dream for no reason. I have very big dreams, but I keep them up in here because like I don't, if I share them with people and they maybe try to shoot those ideas down, like that could make me not want to have those big dreams anymore. So I keep them to myself for now, and when I'm living my dream someday, then I'll share my dream, whatever that is. I know you have a dream too in your life. Like you have something, like your dream life, something that you want in your life to do, and don't let other people take that away from you. Don't compare that to like other people's dreams and stuff and say like, oh, I can't do it, whatever, or like this dream is like not cool. God put that in your mind for a reason, because he believes that you can get it done. Like he didn't give you that dream for no reason. So find ways that you can better yourself, get better, fix your eyes on God so that you can live out that dream someday. So final point, if you're going to compare with yourself. Don't compare with those that are doing better than you. Don't compare with those that are doing worse than you. You don't want to pride yourself, or like you don't want to have pride, but you also don't want to make you feel bad about yourself. Instead, compare with yourself. Find ways that you like reflect and find ways that like maybe you can do better. Specifically in like sports, we can look at our stats, or not really stats, but like performance in a game, and say like, oh, maybe this wasn't super great. So like, what can you do differently to get better? And don't compare like your game to someone else's game necessarily, because you could have had your worst game and they could have had their best game. If you're comparing your worst to their best, there's no way it's going to be better than them. It's just going to hurt you. It's just going to make you feel worse about your performance. So, look at your performances specifically and say, how can I get better, and like find ways to get better instead of comparing to other people around you and like those who are doing better than you, whatever. So if you're going to compare with yourself, reflect, and find ways to better yourself. I mean, that's the lesson for today, y'all. Like, just don't try to eliminate comparison. If you're going to compare with yourself. I mean, that's about it, because like the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and he steals your joy and he kills your mood and maybe destroys your future plans and your goals by you comparing yourself to someone else, like him putting in your mind like, oh, compare yourself to someone else because like what they have is better. Just compare to what you have, and don't let Satan get up in here and like mess with you and think that what you're doing is wrong, what you're doing is bad, because God put you on your path for a reason. That's ultimately what matters. So if you have any like questions or suggestions or anything for future episodes, like feel free to reach out, let me know. I'm very interested in like new ideas, what you guys have, and want to speak on topics that you guys want to hear too. So if you have any suggestions, feel free to reach out. And I mentioned this in a past episode. I'm not here to beg for likes and subscribes and stuff, but I am here to help as many people as I possibly can in a God-centered fashion and point them toward Christ. So if you know of anyone that may need to hear this episode or really any of the episodes specifically, just I would encourage you to share it with them, because the goal of the show is to impact people in a God-centered way and help as many people as we can. So if you know someone that may need to hear one of these lessons, I would encourage you to share it with them, because ultimately the more people that hear a God-centered lesson like this, maybe the more people that we can bring to heaven with us. And that's the ultimate goal. So stay tuned. We got a Christmas episode next week on the 23rd. That should be pretty exciting. Christmas, man, it's coming around so quick, man. It's crazy that Christmas is already in a week and a half. But I mean, it's crazy, man. So don't compare yourself with others. Focus on how you can be the best version of you. All right. I will see you guys next week. Be great today, and praise God.